So the Bad Guys 2 gave us two huge final moments, one emotional one and one completely insane. The first one, after all the tension, teasing, and back and forth flirting in the first movie, and in the beginning of the second one, Wolf and Diane finally kissed, and they declared their love for each other. And it wasn't just a flirty wink or a joke, it was actually a genuine moment that we had the pleasure to watch on the big screen. After saving the world from kitty galore and proving that they can work together despite their past, Wolf and Diane seemed ready to trust each other again, not just as allies, but of course as something completely more. Something new that we're gonna see in the third movie. But right when this happened, right when things started to look good for this new couple in the movie dropped that post-credit bombshell. Professor Mermalade is back, and only now, he's not just a criminal mastermind, he is an alien prince. Like we saw in the post-credit scene, the limo transforms into a spaceship, and he flies off into the stars with one last smug line, "I'm going home." So where is the Bad Guys 3 gonna pick up from? Because in one side we have this incredible scene at the end of the movie where these two guys become a real couple, and we're gonna see a lot more of in the third movie, but on the other side we have a completely new threat, the likes of which we have never seen before. It's an extraterrestrial force. Professor Mermalade is no longer Professor Mermalade. He is a complete and full-on alien that's gonna come bent on revenge with a full alien army to destroy Earth to the fullest. So how are these two elements of the third movie gonna intertwine with each other? This new relationship with this new threat? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna be talking about here in today's video, guys. We're gonna be talking about the plotline, the details, and everything you need to know about the Bad Guys 3. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. So let's start with the emotional center of the story, Wolf and Diane. From the beginning, these two have had chemistry, of course. The sharp dialogue, the mutual respect, and that constant push and pull they had in the beginning with their criminal instincts and doing the right thing. In the Bad Guys 2, that tension finally boils over into trust, and then something bigger happens. The kiss inside the rocket ship isn't just fan service, it marks a shift. They gone from opponents to reluctant allies to fully fledged teammates, and now there is a possibility of a real relationship between these two people who've spent most of their lives avoiding emotional attachments and try to look tough. So what happens next? Well, the Bad Guys 3 could explore what it means for these two to try to build a life together, while also working for a secret global agency, like we see at the end of the movie. Can they stay close while constantly risking their lives? Will Diane's independent nature clash with Wolf's leadership role? And most importantly, what happens when they start thinking about the future, not just the next mission? And this is exactly where we get to the Bad Guys 3's idea of family. Now this might sound wild, but stick with me because the Bad Guys 3 could flirt with the idea of starting a family between these two guys. Not necessarily kids right away, of course, but the themes are there. In the Bad Guys books, which the movies are based on, the team evolves past just being bad guys. They become protectors. They gain superpowers, they start thinking about legacy, who they want to be, not just what they used to be. And let's be honest, we've all seen in the movies that Wolf has always had a big heart under that tough guy act. He wants to protect people, he wants to be good. Diane, too, she just hides it behind a cynical shell. Together, they could start imagining a future together that isn't just another heist or mission, but something stable, since now they have a stable job and might have stable income. That tension between settling down and saving the world could be the key emotional arc. Maybe they will start a family, maybe they will have a kid, and the protection of this kid is going to be the focus against the forces of Mermalade. Maybe they don't even agree on what the future is going to look like, but the idea is there. It's powerful, especially when it's threatened, and that brings us to what? To Mermalade. Now, the biggest threat to this new future doesn't come from another gang or spy agency, it comes from space. The post-credit scene from the Bad Guys 2 movie revealed what book readers have been knowing for a while, and that is that Mermalade is actually an alien. And not just any alien, he's a prince from an intergalactic race known as the Doomsday Rabbits. In Aaron Blabey's book series, Mermalade wasn't just evil, he was exiled to Earth because his own kind couldn't deal with his thirst for control. Professor Mermalade is an alien bent on conquest and obsessed with power and control. That's why when his own tribe sent him to Earth to learn humility, he didn't learn anything. He began building machinery to take over Earth and go back to alien land. Instead of reforming, he began plotting a return. He studied Earth's tech, gathered alien weaponry, and eventually launched a plan to take over the world with an alien army and mind control devices fueled by meteorite fragments that we see, of course, in the first movie. That's what all the first movie's plot was all about. But here's the kicker though, he doesn't come back alone. In the books, when Mermalade returns, he brings with him an army of unwilling alien subjects and bizarre, twisted creations. Some terrifying and some hilarious. It's actually going to be really interesting to see how these characters are going to be portrayed in the big screen in the third movie. I really want to see that. The scale of his revenge is going to be cosmic, a full-blown invasion. That means that The Bad Guys 3 is not going to be just a spy thriller or criminal thriller like the two previous movies. It's going to be a sci-fi action film with galactic stakes, and here's where it all comes together. As the team prepares for the alien invasion, Wolf and Diane's relationship could face its true first test. Do they stay together when the world is on the brink of collapse? Do they try to protect each other or the baby that might come in the third movie, or risk everything for the mission? So imagine this. Mermalade returns with alien forces targeting key cities. Wolf is chosen to lead a global counter operation. Diane, more skilled than ever, wants in on the most dangerous part of the mission, but now there is more at stake than just dropping or stopping the villain. They have something personal to lose. A baby, their relationship, whatever. Maybe Diane gets captured, maybe Wolf has to choose between her or the baby, or stopping Mermalade's ship before it reaches Earth's orbit. Those kind of choices, romance and responsibility clashing, would elevate The Bad Guys 3 to a whole new level, from fun to emotionally powerful, and it's really gonna raise the stakes, and it's gonna make this a powerful franchise. So, if the movie follows the trajectory of the books, it won't end with just another defeat for Mermalade. This could be the start of a larger arc, a new trilogy, maybe where the bad guys face bigger and stranger threats from beyond the stars. Don't expect Mermalade to be defeated in the Bad Guys 3 movie, it's not gonna happen, because the trilogy and the books never killed off Mermalade, but emotionally, it all comes back to Wolf and Diane. Their growth, their bond, their decision to fight for something that is bigger than them, not just against someone. Whether or not they will build a family or have a baby, they're learning how to trust each other and how to cope when all of a sudden a new menace, really powerful menace, shows up. Are they going to be able to cope with this? Are they going to be able to be mature with the decisions to take and defeat Mermalade? And in a world where your enemies can come from other galaxies, will you ever be safe to start a family with Diane and build your future? That is the question that Wolf and Diane will be asking themselves. So what could The Bad Guys 3 actually look like? Well, a global spy network and a team dealing with an alien invasion. A villain from the stars with a personal grudge against the bad guys. He really wants to catch them because they've done some really bad things to him, so he wants payback. He comes back for vengeance. And at the heart of it all, two former criminals learning how to build a future together are gonna have to encounter bigger and higher problems than themselves. Even when the world around them is falling apart, they will have to make certain decisions to safeguard or completely leave their relationship. So we're gonna see a lot of things. We're gonna see big laughs, big stakes, a bigger heart, and we're gonna see a bigger franchise. That is for sure, because this, The Bad Guys 3, is gonna be the beginning of another completely different franchise that, believe it or not, might actually take it to the new level and might create a new franchise within a franchise, because there is an incredible difference between the previous two Bad Guys movies and this one. It's gonna be a before and after, so who knows, this might be the movie that everybody talks about when it comes out. So what do you guys think about The Bad Guys 3 movie? Are you excited to watch it?